Mealy.
Here.
Sinning.
Here.
Witecki.
Present.
Matthews.
Here, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless you.
I think that requires a...
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the annual schedule of regular meetings herefore adopted and posted on public bulletin board at the municipal building, emailed to the Hawthorne Press, the Herald News, the Record, the Gazette, and all persons who have requested the mailing of such schedule. Copy of said schedule has remained in the file of the office of the Borough Clerk from and since December 7, 2017. Approval of minutes. Can I have approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of April 18, 2018?
So moved.
Motion by Witecki, second by Mealy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Witecki.
Yes.
Sinning.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Rotolo.
Yes.
Bennett.
Abstain.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Public comment. I'll open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, come forward to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting. Motion by Bertolo, second by Witecki. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Adoption of ordinances. We have ordinance number 2211-18, an ordinance to further amend and supplement Chapter 505, Article 2, Section 505-9, to prohibit right turns on red signals, Schedule 6 of the Code of the Borough of Hawthorne, so as to repeal and replace such schedule, adding thereto certain additional locations and amending existing locations. Public hearing. I'll now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard regarding this ordinance, please raise your hand, come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Does anyone wish to be heard?
Frank, are all the signs up? Are all the signs up? Do we know, Bob?
Well, let's do the
Well,
hearing
let's,
first.
we gotta finish this first. Yeah.
All right,
Let's finish this first.
okay.
Seeing none, I entertain a motion of the public hearing on this ordinance be closed and be resolved. This ordinance was posted on public bulletin board on which public notices have customarily posted, published in the Hawthorne Press, and available on the borough website. Copies of said ordinance remain available to the general public. Now therefore be it resolved that this ordinance be adopted and the clerk is authorized to advertise the same according to the law. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Bertolo, second by Sinning. Now Dominic, discussion.
I'm sorry, I throw that away. Are the signs up? All the signs up?
Well, I mean, until the ordinance is adopted, the
They
new
can't go up, yeah.
locations, they can't go up. There are some, and I know, I don't know whether, you know, the signs are in order, or the signs are in order, but they can't go up until the ordinance is in place.
Okay, because there are signs, I know this, that's
I mean,
different.
there's some places there were signs without underlying
Right.
ordinance. There's a couple places where signs are missing or have to be moved, but it's
Okay.
basically one project.
Roll call.
Bennett.
Yes.
Rotolo.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Sinning.
Yes.
Witecki.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Old business. Dominic, we'll start your way.
I'm okay.
Bruce.
No, we're good.
Eric, just at some point, if you can forward the schedule for the installation of the speed limit signs that we've been talking about. And
Okay.
I'm not sure if phase 2 is included in that, but if it is.
Probably not, because we have
Could
to
you-
order them yet.
Okay, all right. How about the street locations or locations?
I don't.
Whatever-
I don't think. we
whatever you
a
have, and then
complete
we'll take it
Set
from
of
there.
location.
Okay, thank you.
Gary.
That's all I have.
I think Joe might have answered it. Last meeting I asked about those yellow flags that were on the north lawns, and I took it down, and today they were back painting yellow lines and blue lines on the curbs again. So apparently, whatever they're there for, and it's been there a long time, they're doing something there.
You're getting close because after 30 days they're void. So if the tree planting is going to happen within 30, they have to recall.
Right.
It is a tree, that's what it is, a tree planting.
I don't know. I mean,
Blue is water and yellow is
I mean,
gas.
there's tree planting is starting tomorrow. So if they're just painting today, it's probably not.
Could be phase 2.
So I don't. I
Well,
don't know
easy
if
enough
it's
to
tree
find
planting.
out. Director Scully could find out because their guys went out and marked out for water.
Do you know what we're marking out?
Marking out for trees, how many specific locations you want me to look into? I can look into those.
Watch it right in front of your house?
Yeah, they marked like every house on my street, just about. They're marked.
I'll look into that.
Well, I can say that both Frank and Gary expressed wanting a tree, so I'm
Yeah, the first step is to mark
can
out.
get
that is the first step.
Well, actually, Joe, I did get a letter, but the tree is actually on the Scola's property.
Within 100 feet?
Should I just put a stake where the tree was that came
Yes,
down?
please.
Kind of make it foolproof?
Yep.
Got it. Anything else, Gary?
No, it's-
Joe?
Mine's easy. Llewellyn and Grand, when they redid when the company came out to trim the trees, I guess they knocked down one of our no parking signs, and I brought this up the last time. Well, they put it back up with black duct tape. So if we can cut it down
What do you
and,
want, silver duct tape?
no, I want to put it correctly. That's it for old.
Old business, Eric, I know I touched base with you regarding the street light on Cornell and Florence. Was there any response back from PSE&G?
No, but I'll follow up
Okay.
again tomorrow.
Fair enough. Joe, new business, down your way.
All right. It's oldish new. I want to thank the DPW for picking up that no parking sign in front of South and Lafayette on the corner there. But also, how do we go about two questions here? The first one is, are we still paying for a street light that got knocked down? Because I know we pay by numbers of street lights. They knocked the tree, cleared out the pole, cleared out the light, and we never had the pole and light replaced.
I would have to check. We don't get a monthly bill showing an itemization of the lights. So we'd have to figure out what pole it was.
The pole wasn't put back up,
Nope, pole's gone.
so it was only for the street light. That should be easy enough that was when the tree came down on South?
South and Lafayette.
Yeah, so the police
Right
should
around
be able
by
to pull the
Justice.
incident report. It probably has a poll number in the
Right.
incident report, and they'll be able to track it down from there,
I think you're right.
so.
That's it.
Gary?
yeah, I was told today that I do all the scheduling for the baseball, but I can't use Franklin Field right now because of the condition of, due to the, I guess, the contractors working down there on the band shell stuff.
On the bathrooms?
I didn't know that we were unable to use the field, but I can look into
For
that.
the little kids league, for the second grade softball, or for little league?
Well, we always use the younger kids play on there.
Yeah.
Like, it's the only place, after all this rain, there aren't a lot of fields left open to make up. We haven't played in over a week now, so. And it's supposed to get rain, gonna get tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. I don't
Okay,
have
I'll
any
look
fields
into it.
except Franklin.
Are you aware of that, Bob, or?
I was down there today, yesterday. It
But it's,
seems like the field is still playable.
but is there any
And it's always
reason?
gonna be in play, what's there is always gonna be in play. So if you can't play on it because they're constructing now, you won't be able to play on it once the.
Right, I mean, that's what I think, because they're
Yeah,
not
I
playing
didn't
while
go
they're.
down there, so I didn't see it, so.
Who said you can't use the field?
I was told by the league president, that they were down there, they said, and they talked to, I guess, somebody whoever cuts the grass and stuff, and said,
Well, that's certainly the person to talk to.
The person that cuts the grass is a contractor, and.
well, no, I guess it was somebody from the town
Can't make it
who
up.
takes care of the field.
Right.
Whoever lines the fields,
We will look
That's-
into it,
that's
because
how
I
it
don't
works.
see any reason that it shouldn't be able to be usable, because, I mean, they're not playing when they're actually working,
No.
which could be a problem, and it's,
Ground
where it sits,
Get in
it's
the
not
toilet,
going
it's a
to
home
be a problem while they're playing on it, at a different time than the construction's actually occurring. So I don't know who made that decision or why, but we'll work on that.
You'll call Gary when you know.
Is the contractor required to fence the area off or to make the site safe at every day?
I'm sure,
I'd probably have some, that's
Gotta be
usually,
some perimeter fence.
that's usually, boilerplate
Yeah.
and a contract.
Steve, do you happen to know whether there's boilerplate in the contract about the band shell bathrooms, about having it?
About having the
fenced off and
site,
made
you know,
safe?
secure, safe,
Absolutely,
secure.
it's in there.
So if that's the case and he's putting up fencing
Yeah.
or whatever, it just,
I'll take a ride down there tomorrow.
So it's a hazard.
And the general
I didn't
conditions, it
have to
definitely
move
says he has to keep it in a safe and workmanlike manner.
Right.
No
I mean,
question.
it's just a corner, and where it is,
It's way out.
It's
Well, that's what
way
I
out in
thought.
right
If
you hit
field.
it there,
and-
you're
and
that
we're
far.
doing it- The little kids, I don't see any
midgets
reason.
and
Yeah.
softball
No, I
instruction.
have places for the older kids, because they can play at night down there, so that's not a problem, but I can't, the little kids that
Yeah.
Pee-wee's there at 8 o'clock at night.
Little people league.
During the week.
The Little People League, Midget
Yes.
League. Oof.
Anything else, Gary?
Yeah, the other thing, And when I was there for the grand opening, I looked at the flags down there are kind of,
Which
At Wagner
grade
Road.
opening?
yeah, kind of getting shredded down there.
The American flag needs to be replaced, and you can't even make out what the other flag is below the American flag.
You're talking about at the Wagfield.
Wagfield, by the snack stand, the main flagpole.
All right.
It'd be the War Memorial flag.
Yeah, they couldn't be any better.
Yeah, but you can't even
after
tell.
yesterday, and they didn't get any better, I guarantee you. With that wind.
Bob, would you go tomorrow and take the flags down and see what needs to be replaced down at Wagfield?
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all.
John,
No new business.
Bruce,
No, sir.
Dominic.
Nope.
Well, I unfortunately have some new business. The youth and government meeting for next week will be, or next meeting will be canceled due to lack of effort or lack of participation by our youth.
We still get dinner?
No.
That's what we're thinking.
We can go out to dinner, but the borough's not paying for it, Steve.
Any place you
So
want.
for the next meeting, it will be canceled. If we want to look at maybe a different time of year, whether the interest is any better then, we'll explore that, but it doesn't make sense having a meeting with no children to come do the youth meeting.
Yeah, I think part of the problem, and not only is it time of the year, but a lot of these are involved in sports, and there's a lot of spring sports, which makes it tough
It's
as
been the
well.
same first week in June for the last 10 years.
Oh, I'm not saying no, but we've had people come late because they're finishing up a track meet or a baseball game.
Yeah.
I think we may be better off in the fall when nobody's actually playing.
But then there'll be football, lacrosse.
Well, we're not doing it on a
Now-
Friday night or a Saturday.
There's also the roller coaster. I don't know if you are familiar with the roller coaster project, you know that.
I've worked on two.
Yeah, yes. So that's the same night. That's a big to-do. I
feast.
know it's.
A lot of
Yes.
stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, so.
My cooking, they
I don't
love.
know if in the past there was an attempt to save that night, the first Wednesday of June, and work around it for the school. I'm not sure, but unfortunately, there's testing, there's sports, there's that night.
Prom.
There's prom.
That's prom week.
But we are still having a council meeting.
We're still having
Just the youth will not be being our counterparts.
We'll have to act, Travis.
If you do,
Well, that's not a
we'll put you on
problem
the
for this.
timeout. So with that said, we'll turn to the administrative agenda presented by Mayor Goldberg.
Thank you, Council President. Just a reminder, our annual Memorial Day service and parade is on Monday, May 28th. Service at Borough Hall at noon, followed by a parade at 1:30. The Grand Marshal this year is Dr. Frank Shafalo, former Superintendent of Schools and a Korean War veteran. This week is National Police Week. If you have a chance, thank an officer for his or her service. Remember those who lost their lives in the line of duty protecting us. Hawthorne is becoming a restaurant destination. We've got some new restaurants in Diamond Bridge Ave, but if you look at the quality of the restaurants in Hawthorne, they're probably on par with just about anywhere else you're going to go. And the advantage of eating in Hawthorne, parking is free and available, as opposed to some other communities where parking is very tough. But we're putting together, compiling a list of places to eat in Hawthorne, and I think you'll find it amazing at the amount, of variety of food here available in Hawthorne. And sometimes we don't toot our own horn as to some of the benefits of shopping local and eating local, and maybe even bringing in our neighbors from Bergen County to share in our bounty. I'll have more for that in the coming months as to what we hope to do with that. Last Tuesday, I had a chance to go down to Edison to the Sustainable New Jersey Awards program, where we were awarded a $20,000 grant, one of only 3 in the state, Raina? 4 in the state. Every year, Raina has said to me, I'm applying for the $20,000 grant, and I go, yeah, Raina, right, you know.
Apologize to her?
He said he was going to match it.
I drove to Edison for her. Wasn't that enough? And as I said, we were fortunate. Raina's green team and the Environmental Commission did secure a $20,000 grant, and then got an additional ANJAC grant on top of that. So here to talk about the grant, and I don't know if we have pictures or not to go with it, but Raina, you want to come up and explain us?
For For those viewing at home, Raina had a slideshow presentation where we had some malfunctions. We're going to do that at the next meeting. So if you want to give us an overview without spilling all the good details.
Okay. Well, first of all, just want to thank you guys for the support for the application. We've been working on this the last couple of months, 2 for 2 for the grants this year. It's been really been successful. We're very excited about this project. It's called Gateway to the Passaic River, and it's over by the Wagner Road ball fields in the parking lot next to Scully's Ice and Auto Body
The
Shop.
old LaFaber rubber parking lot, it's referred to.
What is it called?
That's the old LaFaber rubber parking lot.
Older than you.
The WAG 4 parking lot.
Well, I'm going to say, yeah, I like that's better. It sounds a little better than WAC 4. So we're going to do a project there in the woods. We're going to do a lot of stuff down there, a lot of partnership. Some key that helped us secure the grant is really the network and the partnership that we have with one, Rutgers is going to be doing the design of the rain garden, and we're going to help, and they're going to install it too. But also I got Tim at USD is Assemblyman District 38 former. He gave us a letter of support. So we had a lot of support from outside as well as internal, DPW, the Shade Tree Commission. We all pulled together to put together the application. So we'll go into more details because it really doesn't do it justice me talking about it because I've got pictures of the property and what we're going to be giving back to the community. I'm calling Hawthorne's waterfront open space. There's about 75 feet of shoreline that we'll be able to utilize and access for the town, as well as Passaic County residents for boating and recreation and fishing. I've been working with Department of Fish and Wildlife at DEP because they stock the fish in the Passaic River. You can eat the fish on the upper Passaic River where we are. So, I mean, we've really got a lot of partnerships and going together with this project. So I'll go over the slides at the next meeting, June 6th. But maybe in the meantime, Lori, we can post the presentation if we can up on the website. We'll see what we can do. It's 11 slides. But the good news about the grant money is that there is no matching funds required from the borough. So this is free and clear. We don't have to match it. And I'm very happy about that. And we'll work from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Raina. Thank you for all your hard work.
Raina and her team really does a great job, and she's been doing a great job for a long time. She started with the Environmental Committee as a high school student as the secretary, and they haven't
Look what
let her
she's
quit.
done in 5 years.
It's amazing. It's just, that's the kind of dedication and spirit we have here in Hawthorne, that people serve as the way, and Raina should be commended for her dedication to Hawthorne and the Environmental Committee. You may notice that the borough attorney is not here. He's at a legal conference. He's in court. But I understand he left a report with the clerk to read, so Lori, if you would.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. Under affordable housing, Michael and the borough's planner, Joe Burgess, attended a conference before Judge Grogan yesterday. Also in attendance were attorneys representing 204 Wag Road, Kohler and Fair Share Housing Center. The court's special master, Christine Cafone, also was present. The court set forth a case management plan that will require Hawthorne to fine-tune and finalize its housing plan. Importantly, the court extended Hawthorne's immunity from any builder's remedy lawsuit until July 26, 2018, when the parties are next to appear in court. The proceeding was positive, and the court and special master understood the need to provide affordable housing in the context of a fully developed community. We will continue to work towards final resolution. Under tax appeals, Mr. Pasquale will be starting a trial in Morristown on Monday of next week regarding property owned by Brower Brothers, located at the corner of Diamond Bridge and Lincoln Avenue. While every effort is made to settle cases before trial, sometimes a taxpayer sets forth a demand that cannot be met. Goffle Brook Park. Mr. Pasquale reports that the legal brief he submitted has been formatted in accordance with court rule and is on file with the appellate division. Opposition briefs will be due in 30 days. The installation of this field has had the effect predicted when we opposed this eyesore. The quiet park with passive recreation cannot accommodate the kind of traffic that the county has invited. We will continue to fight this cause. The band shell. The band shell committee meets next week and will unveil its final schedule in the coming days. Opening night is Father's Day night with Joey Ziza and friends. The B Street Band performs on July 9th, Radio Nash on July 26th, and Fight for Autism 3 on August 12th. And that concludes my report from Mr. Pasquale.
Thank you, Lori. Also, Mike Kelly, Ed Stankovich, and Chris Nash could be here, so they forwarded their report to Steve Boswell.
Thank you, Mayor. Totally uncalled for, I might add. Arlington Avenue, Marini Brothers needs to address an additional section of curb. Weather permitting, we should get everything done and resurface next week. The band shell bathroom, the contractor started with construction with the footings and the foundation. Door hardware finishes, side trim, and soffit colors need to be selected by the borough. I think that's been done now, right, Eric?
No, I haven't. I'm trying to get samples for making the
Okay.
pictures and so forth. They haven't provided them. So.
You will have those shortly. Also, there was an issue in the band shell with a piece of molding which was not holding up well to the weather. The contractor, the maintenance bond has expired, but the contractor has agreed at his cost to come back, and we said, look, we don't want to replace it, so he's going to tile it. So he's going to put tile on where that is, and that will now be weatherproof. You'll see, it makes sense, Frank, you'll see it. I know you've got to look there, because what the vinyl doesn't hold up. So we want to have something truly waterproof, and he will do it at his cost because he wants to keep good relations with the borough, which was nice to hear. DPW building, the oil water separator is being installed. It's almost finished. The building corners were staked out. If you went over today, you can see excavation has begun. The foundation should start being, it's all been laid out, and it should start being, the mason's going to be on site Monday, May 21st to begin pouring the foundation and the footings. So the slab will be being poured. Streetscape project, he's still waiting to get some of the same documents from the contractor. It's not Gannett Fleming's fault. I mean, he keeps sending the thing off to Solarmite, and he says, this is the wrong document, send back the right one. So eventually, hopefully, we'll get closed out. The water storage tank painting, the tank is filled and in operation, and we're just checking the operation of the overflow valve right now to make sure that's working properly. The GPS and GIS services, the collection of service connections with the DPW has started again. Now the weather's nice, so generally one day a week, our people will go to the DPW personnel in order to pick up the rest of those. The 2017 road program, the final payment documents are being prepared, and that project will be closed out. The tax map updates, Tim Henderson's comments are about 95% addressed. They'll all be addressed by the next meeting. Municipal pool, punch list needs to be addressed and the startup of the equipment performed. A training session, as everyone knows, the pool is being painted. It seems to never stop raining, so it's been difficult to paint. Once painted, the pool can be filled. Once it's filled, we can test the equipment and then have a training session. So it's all tied in with finishing the painting. And one of the questions we got asked, by the way, by somebody from the council was, why don't we paint it in the fall? And the answer is that you can, but it's subject to all that weather of the winter. So it may not make sense, but this becomes a crunch only because the weather's been so horrible this particular year. 2018 road program, the pre-con meeting was held Monday. The contractor, who is American Asphalt and Milling, was going to start on Monday with the concrete work. And you remember, we got a very favorable price, and we're not only doing the base and the alternate, we're doing some other alternates too, as everybody recalls. Tonight, you're going to approve our proposal, hopefully, for the Lafayette Avenue streetscape to continue the stamped concrete all the way down so we have uniformity throughout the downtown area. The roof repairs for the sewer and water department, the borough is investigating, and we believe we have come to the conclusion that they can award it without bidding, so it'll be done by the non-fair and open process as long as the contractors file the proper paperwork, and Eric's on top of that. And the asset management, tonight you're going to approve, hopefully again, Phase 1B of the asset. We've broken it out. all the work has to be done, and we've broken it out so that as the funding becomes available, and right now 1B, there's funding available for that. And Lafayette Hills, the question got asked about the water quality control tank over there, and I have the latest report, by the way, which is dated 5 years ago, and as we know, it's supposed to be done annually. We called Wilkins Management, who handles Lafayette Hills. The person who was there had left, but we got the person, and he was unaware it had to be done. He is scheduling it now. They will do it. We told him it doesn't have to be necessarily cleaned every year, but it has to be inspected every year, and if it needs to be cleaned, then cleaned, and we get a report annually. So he's promised to get that to us in short order, and we'll stay on top of that. Other than that, Mayor, I'll answer questions.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Eric tried to find someone to read his report tonight and couldn't, so we decided to come to a meeting to read it himself. So, Eric?
It happens. I just want to offer my congratulations and thank you to Raina and her team for the grants that they received. That's wonderful news. Training and final edits are underway for our new website. We're still planning a launch by mid-June sometime. We don't have an exact date yet, but that's moving forward. Lori's been putting a heck of a lot of work into it. I've been helping a little bit, but it's really, Lori's been carrying that project. As I mentioned at the last meeting, with the adoption of the budget, you can expect to see beginning this meeting and through the June meetings, a series of resolutions to authorize purchase of equipment and implementation of various small capital projects. For this meeting, those would be resolutions R84 through R90. And there's a memo in your in the packet giving a brief synopsis of each. As Steve mentioned, we're racing to get the pool completed in order to open Memorial Day weekend. And as he also said, the rain's been hindering the painting, which everything falls from that. I mean, my recent conversation with Bob is that we expect to make it. But there is still a chance we may not, and this may be the first year, at least since I've been here, that we may not be able to open Memorial Day weekend. But if it's not paint, you can't paint the pool after it's been filled, and we had a late winter, end of winter, and then a lot of rain since then, so it's problematic. We are conducting a lifeguarding class in order to have a sufficient number of lifeguards to staff the pool. That was a step we took this year because we had a lot of staff that were interested in moving up from gate staff to lifeguards, but they didn't have the certification, so we're providing that class because it's easier to get gate staff than it is to get lifeguards.
I'm sorry. Vacuum, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat the last sentence?
I said it's easier to get gate staff than it is to get lifeguards. So if we have gate staff that wants to be lifeguards for the extra money and status or whatever their reasons, we're accommodating that by offering a class. And so if there are still people interested in working at the pool, either as lifeguards or office staff, you can see the application on our website, our old website still at this point, www.hawthornenj.org. And finally, as we talk, tree planting starts tomorrow. Given some of the issues and delays this year, even after handoff to our new arborist, I'm going to be scheduling a meeting with our Shade Tree Commission Chair, our arborist, and DPW to get a better things, have responsibilities laid out a little better so everybody knows how all the pieces fit together, so we won't have these kind of delays in the future, because we have a new chair, we have a new arborist, and things just didn't come together the way that any of us would like them to have. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Eric. Council President, we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Dominic, we'll start your way.
I want to take Bruce's thunder. At our Public Works meeting, we talked about the pool. Can it be painted partially, so it would save time in the spring, or you don't think it would work?
Well, you could, Dominic, but again, anything you paint is going to be subject to the winter weather. So it's never been an issue before. It's always been painted. This time it's just been, this is a horrible spring.
Okay.
So, and hopefully, we can still make it, but.
I would think the paint would be a little more durable than that.
Well, you're subject to ice and snow, things that you don't have when the pool is filled with water in the summer. So it is durable, Bruce, but I'd recommend you paint it in the spring as long as you can and still open it on time. And since we've opened it on time for 20+ years, painting it in the spring, this may be the exception. I understand that. So you could do that. You could move it back and paint it in the winter, and then you may have to touch it up a little bit in the spring or something like that.
And the streetscape is done, all the
I'm sorry, Duncan.
the streetscape, all the punch lists are all done? The punch list for the streetscape, they're all done?
Just the paperwork.
Just paperwork. Oh, you mean the streetscape project?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. all
Last year's project.
Yeah, right. I thought you meant the new one.
No,
That's
last
not
year's.
done yet.
No.
Yeah, that's all done, other than, it's a whole issue with getting his SBE paperwork in.
Because the lights all work, I noticed that, they're all working.
It all works now.
Yeah.
I've checked it myself 4 times, it's been working right, and unless I hear contrary, I think it's all done.
Okay, I'm okay, Frank.
If I could just piggyback on Councilman Mealy's last comment, there seems to be an incredible amount of weeds that are growing up where that streetscape project has taken place. And then I know that there's areas that we're going to continue that project, especially in front of the new restaurant that you alluded to. You could see the weeds that are just out of control.
Right, we've agreed, because this was to be a temporary condition, and we took out something that the property owners had paid for, but didn't have to maintain. We've agreed to maintain that, and so we have our landscape mowing contractor we're working with him. He's going to be maintaining that until we start construction.
Understood. All right, because when I just went through that area, it's in need of attention, but I understand that it's been raining.
And so
same issue
we will
with
have,
painting stripes.
that done, and obviously, it was never meant to be more than a temporary solution, and hopefully by summer, we won't have to worry about it anymore.
Got it.
Anything else, Dominic? The bids are going out for the new streetscape soon,
Yeah, we think we can wrap it up in about 3 weeks.
so it should be by summer, we should have that project going then.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hopefully we'll accept bids sometime in June, hopefully award in June, and begin construction by the end of June or early July.
Yeah, as has always been our habit, we've already started the plans.
Right.
Because the mayor demands.
I prefer it
that we
that
work
way.
on spec.
So it should be a quicker project since it's
We
really
know
a
what
Main
to do.
Street project. But this
Right.
it's a sidewalk project at this point.
And it's all going to be controlled by us, so it'll go, it'll be easier. So,
Okay, I'm fine.
Bruce.
Yes, Steve, at the meeting, Public Works meeting, we were told that the new filtration system for the pool uses 4 filters, where the old one used to use 2.
Yes.
that is correct. I was just counting them, yes.
And what's the reason for that? Is it a
Higher
redundant
capacity.
system, or?
No, the reason is that this system is, when you looked at sizing the system, we sized it for future changes. So in other words, we had talked about a spray park. We thought you can now handle all of that with no new filter. And if you don't ever put it in, the additional capital cost is pretty negligible. It's not zero, but it is a number, but it will pay for itself because the 4 filters will get clogged half as frequently. So either way, it's a win for we were trying to think in the future because we talked about a spray park.
Right.
You can now put a spray park in with no more filtration. You can upgrade everything.
Do they all have to be run at the same time?
They do
or-
not. They do not.
So there's some redundancy in the system?
Correct. That's correct. You could get by with just running 2 of the 4, but what you're going to do is run all 4 of them at half the flow rate. So it's same difference in terms of result. But you can, if one were to fail, you can easily run everything on 3. So if that's what you're asking, absolutely.
That's pretty much what I was asking.
What is the turnover rate, Steve? Is it better with the 4 than it was in the old environment?
Well, the issue
Or
on
is it about the
turnover,
same?
the issue on turnover rate, John, is pipe sizes. The filter can handle anything you want. Right now, the turnover rate is pretty much the same as what it was. We can look at boosting the pumps a little bit and doing it, but there's a concern.
The age of the pipes, I'd be concerned.
That's the
I mean,
concern.
the turnover rate is good,
Right.
we're in compliance, I was just curious if it increased the turnover rate.
Yeah, the standards are going to change, or pretty much have changed for new pools, going from an 8-hour to a 6-hour. We're a little concerned pushing the pipes that are there now to the 6 hour.
I would think the canisters on the new filters are smaller. Obviously, you put
The
4
filters
in.
can handle everything.
You put 4 in where there were 2 before in the
Right.
same space. So
Correct.
I remember the old canisters were monsters.
Right,
You know.
right. But the new filters can easily handle the 6 hour.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is if one goes down, the pool stays open. In the old environment, one goes down.
Correct.
closed.
You lost 50% of your capacity,
Right.
now you lose 25%.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
John,
Nope, I'm good.
Gary, Joe.
All right. I'd like to start with a thank you. I've been complaining about the traffic for some weeks now, and I want to thank Sergeant Geyer from the Hawthorne Police Department, who was out today pulling over drivers who were driving illegally at the intersection of Wag and Lafayette, which it continues to be an issue. And having said that, have we alternated the traffic signals so that they could be in sync, so that when you're making that left-hand turn, we had mentioned?
We have not, we can. We know how to do it, and we've put that out there, but funding just hasn't been available to it.
Because even with, and I say this because I can't imagine right now, it is incredibly difficult, even with the paving is completed in all the locations, because that's what we were saying was a challenge, was that Patterson was paving, then we were
Right.
paving. Well, nobody's paving now. You can't make a left turn. And if you add 204 Wagarell Road, I can't imagine adding additional cars into that thoroughfare between Lafayette and Wagarell Road. It's
We can take a look, we can retime the signals, we can look at all those
no
possibilities.
Lafayette and Wag. It backs up all the way,
down
all the way
Lafayette.
down to Shopmire. It backs up because they're all trying to get to Lincoln Avenue.
We're trying to get to Lincoln,
They're coming out of Patterson, down Wag, towards Lincoln.
and they're trying to turn left on Lincoln?
Nope. Try turning left from Lafayette when all those cars are trying to
Oh,
go
I
straight.
see, okay.
You know, we maybe even don't block the box. We
But
make
when-
the box.
So you mean, so the traffic, when the light changes, they're blocking the access, so that
Exactly.
people can't get out of
I
Lafayette Ave?
misunderstood what you were saying, too. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about the Lafayette Ave.
Okay,
So cars, it's a single lane road.
right.
Today, Sergeant Geyer, anyone who was trying to squeeze in between the curb line and cars, you know, they were trying to pass on the right, he was there to
Okay.
make sure that they.
So I just want to make sure I understand it, Joe. The problem is someone traveling from Gothel down Wag toward Lincoln.
Yep,
That becomes a solid line of cars, so someone coming down the bottom of Lafayette Ave, south on Lafayette Ave, cannot turn left.
Yes,
Because
sir.
there's no room for them to go in.
that's correct.
Okay. 'Cause it's
So
got
then
to-
that backs up to Maitland Ave, because you're gridlocked.
Yeah, so the issue is the signal at Lincoln and Wag is the real issue.
If they were more in sync, it would flow.
Right.
We have the same problem on Gothel now, since the third light down there. Sometimes if I have to go to like, for a doctor's appointment, like Ridgewood, I have to go out, down Pasadena 2 blocks, make a left and go back in, because traffic can't get down North Watson, because they're stopped there. They go to make the turn, they can't turn, because the traffic light is at the next corner is still red, and the traffic is backed up.
Well, if you want to, we have the best traffic engineer in the state works for us. It was the county engineer in Bergen County for 40 years. If you want, we can look at all of them and come up with better signal timing on all of them. But remember, when you solve one leg of the signal,
Yeah.
you create a problem at the other leg of the signal. Just-
I think a lot of it is just sheer volume.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think some of the issue on WAG heading toward
Six that
Lincoln
bridge.
is, well, they've changed some traffic patterns in Patterson down in Bunker Hill. I don't know which street it is along the railroad tracks. You used to be able to go straight down, make a left to get to Fifth Ave.
By the old PSC&G area.
It's a one-way now.
Yep.
Waite Street, right? Is it Waite Street? Now you can't you can make the left, but you can't make the right onto Fifth Ave. You can't get down there, it's a one-way. So if people don't understand, you can weave to get to it, but if you don't know that direct route, I'm gonna guess a lot of people just they stay on Goffle Road or Wagger Road and take it that way, so.
They're both single lane roads that are treated like they're two-lane roads.
Yeah, you're talking about the cheat lane when people are trying to make a left onto Lafayette, and then people cheat and go by them on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Maybe,
not-
maybe, maybe,
Natural traffic behavior, though, I have to tell you, Joe. you know.
Sergeant Geyer
Maybe on
wasn't, he wasn't
Unless,
taking it today.
unless Sergeant Geyer's standing there, then it's, then it's an unnatural act. So,
Maybe when 204 WAG gets developed, we were able to cheat and create a double line.
I can't imagine the adding
I'm
that.
saying to give you a double lane there.
Yeah.
I'm
You still
guessing
have
their
the same
traffic
amount of
study
traffic
said don't.
back in that off of,
Yeah, you still got
Guaranteed.
Lincoln Ave. That
Yeah.
I don't know where you're
the
dumping.
problem is Lincoln and Wag. That's the problem.
And then you get
And the
to,
problem with that too, Joe, just to tell you,
It's fair lawn.
while Lincoln and Wag backs up, Lincoln backs up.
Right.
So if you change the signal timing much, it's just a lot of cars.
and then everybody's trying to go over Lincoln Avenue Bridge,
Right.
on, past Duffy's, make a left on Second Avenue,
Right.
and, you know, that's a street.
The
It's
nice
not a
thing would be,
highway.
if at that restaurant, if you could take some land, widen that intersection, make a dedicated right turn lane for people that want to make that movement that you're talking about. But that's very expensive. And
I
there's also
believe,
a bridge there too.
Right.
So.
Mayor Engelhard tried that.
He did, I remember talking
Right,
about that with
from
him
the
years and
WAG
years ago.
entrance all the way down. He tried
That's
to
right.
make that second lane.
That's right, he tried.
All right, I know that, I don't know if this thing even exists anymore. Would we be able to paint it like Councilman Mealy says and then put the pool cover? Does the pool cover even exist anymore?
yeah. We still have the pool cover, right?
Water in the pool.
And then like you had originally had.
That's what we did originally, yeah. Well, you could paint it and cover it. But the cover was.
Well, you
I
wouldn't
thought-
paint it.
I thought the
You would
cover,
leave, you have to leave the water in the pool.
Right.
So
That's
you're not
right.
gonna drain it in September, paint it, fill it.
that's right,
and cover it.
the cover's supported by the water in the pool. That's right, so you can't, so
No,
the answer is no.
all right, I'm just trying to think,
Right, okay.
I
utilize.
think the use of the cover, when we decided that years ago, was leave water in, is that you wouldn't have to repaint it every year.
Right,
There
that
a
was the
hope
idea.
That
The idea was keep the water in and cover it.
right.
But you can't paint it and put the cover on, you're right, John. The water stays in the pool with the cover.
All right, and then lastly, I really would like to attend that Shade Tree Commission meeting you were describing, if I could be included.
See? That works. I mean, it's, well,
Okay.
I'm trying to deal with staff that works during the day, would you be?
I
So
hear
it's
you.
not vacation days.
I got
Don't worry
plenty of
about it.
vacation days.
Okay,
Just don't make it during the feast.
okay.
Joni's rough. She'd be like, no.
Mayor, anything else?
No, I think we've taken up enough of your time tonight.
Thank God. Can I have a motion to record the administrative agenda? Motion by Bertolo, second by Mealy. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introduction of ordinances, we have none this evening. We have resolutions, consent agenda R 78-18 through R 90-18. R 78-18 Borough of Hawthorne payroll dated May 11th, 2018. R 79-18 special event services. R 80-18 is 2012 refunding bond payment. R 81-18 is water utility overpayment. R 82-18 is acceptance of the Sustainable New Jersey grant. R 83-18 is Chapter 159 budget insertion for the Sustainable Jersey grant. R 84-18 award of professional service contract for asset management plan. R 85-18 is the award for professional services DPW floor drain system enclosure. R 86-18 is the award for professional services contract Lafayette Ave sidewalk. R 87-18 is purchase of 2 vehicles for the water department. R 88-18 is award of contract electrical upgrades for the south pumping station. R 89-18 is the purchase of 2 police vehicles. And R 90-18 is the purchase of turnout gear for the Hawthorne Fire Department. Can I have a motion? So moved. Motion by Bennett, second by Bertolo. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Watecki,
I'm gonna abstain on 90-18, and yes on all others.
Sinning,
Yes,
Mealy.
Yes.
Bertolo.
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes,
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Reports of special council committees. Joe, we'll start your way.
I have no report with the exception of the next Shade Tree scheduled meeting is Monday, June 4th.
Okay? Gary?
I have no report. There was an ordinance committee meeting, but I was unable to attend, so. I don't know what you-
Frank and, I don't want to
That means, Gary, you're 100 pages behind.
John?
Nothing to report.
Bruce?
yes, the Board of Recreation had a meeting scheduled for the 9th, but unfortunately could not get a quorum because too many of their members were at athletic events for some reason. The Public Works Committee met on the 14th, and basically Steve and Eric have filled you in on everything we discussed. So that's my
Okay.
report.
Dominic?
I have nothing, but I want to thank Raina for a wonderful job for her grants. I know she'll keep continuing. I know. Thank you, Raina.
Okay, as Gary mentioned, the ordinance committee met to discuss the rewrite of our borough code. We're up to about 284 pages worth of rewrite. We honed in on some definitions in the zoning aspect of it, and we'll continue our work at the next meeting. We gave the planner a bunch of feedback, and he's going to come back with a little bit of an amendment, and then we're getting close to being able to distribute it to everyone for their input as well. Planning board met last night. Our applicant that was supposed to be heard did not show. But at the next meeting, there'll be the hearing for the Royal Ave project that's been before the planning board, before the zoning board, before the planning board, now back again before the planning board. So it was requested to make sure it was in front of the right board this time for the third time. The chamber, the shops program is underway. It has been for a couple of weeks, and the farmers market will start shortly at the end of, or the middle, towards the end of next month. And that concludes my reports. Correspondence, we have C1 firefighter applications for Nicholas Forsythe and Nicholas Hauser to Company 1 and Stephanie Hill to Company 4. Have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Bertolo, second by Mealy. Any discussion? Can't believe Nikki Forsythe. Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertolo.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Sinning.
Yes.
Wachecki.
Abstain.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Bills, can I have a motion to approve the bills and forward to the treasurer for
So
payment,
moved.
including
Oh,
the two that were on the dais today, which were for the library, which inadvertently, they didn't get their O&E once the budget was passed. And the second one is for police vehicle.
so
So
moved.
moved, except for those two.
Except for those. Well, the motion's still by Bennett and still seconded by Mealy, plus those two, whether you want to vote for them or not. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wachecki.
Abstain on the fire department, yes on all others.
Sinning.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Bertolo.
Abstain on Downs Tree Service, and there is a check for the Hawthorne Boys and Girls Club, so I'll abstain on that one. And just so everybody realizes, I don't think we're taking money, that's our reimbursement from the basketball league. We front the referees so that they're paid on a regular basis, and then we get reimbursed. So I'll abstain on that one and Downs. Yes on all of those.
Bennett.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment, I'll now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, come forward to the microphone, state your name and address. You sure? Talked you into it.
Hi, Raina Lewis at 89 Minerva Ave, Hawthorne, New Jersey. Since I have Steve here, quick question. Community garden, 9/11 Memorial, there's DPW is parking all their trucks in vehicles in front of the community garden, so it's hard for the gardeners to go to the garden. So my understanding is because the DPW project's going on, we had to move those trucks. So the question is, when is the project going to be complete?
Which, are you talking about the oil water separator or the building?
No, the building, she's asking about.
I don't know. There's just all the cars, and Bob's here too, so.
She wants to know when they can park the trucks inside the new building.
Oh, okay. I
2
would
weeks.
say, what is this, this is May?
It would probably be easier to relocate a couple vehicles to give them access to the community garden.
Yeah, I think.
Let them park by the salt
I
dome
think
since we're not using that anymore.
We'll ask Bob to move some of the trucks for you. But I would say,
Okay.
we're probably talking about 3 months from now, something like that. But I think we can work with DPW, right, Bob?
August.
We'll move them for the time period for the movement
Yeah,
trucks.
I just need a couple of spaces for the gardeners, and I just need just a time frame, because, and actually, this is our 5th year with the community garden, and we're like, we've never had this problem, and then Ellen and I were brainstorming, like, oh, it's the project, so if we could just,
Bob and I will work it out,
okay, that's my
which
question.
means Bob's gonna work it out.
Oh, I know. Thanks, guys, for that.
Nope.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Does anyone else wish to be heard? Bob? Okay. Seeing none, entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Bennett, second by Bertolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Bertolo, second by Bennett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next regular meeting of municipal council is June 6, 2018 at 7 p.m.
For non-youth.
for non-youth night. We are adjourned.
Goodbye, Norma Jean. From a young man in the 22nd row, we see you as something more than sexual.